कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा। So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita today. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, chapter entitled The Divisions of Faith, and we are reading text number 7. So please repeat. Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyah यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु। आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु। आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु। Yeah, someone can listen. आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः Anyone else? Anyone from Mataji's wants to recite? Yajnastaphastatha danam. Aharaha, eating. Tu, certainly. Api, also. Sarvasya, of everyone. Trividhaha, of three kinds. Bhavati, there is. Priyaha, dear. Yajnaha, sacrifice. Tapaha, austerity. Tatha, also. Danam, charity. Tesham, of them. Bhedam, the differences. Imam, this. Shrunu, hear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now hear of the distinctions between them. Purport: in terms of different situations in the modes of material nature, there are differences in the manner of eating and performing sacrifices, austerities, and charities. They are not all conducted on the same level. Those who can understand analytically what kind of performances are in what modes of material nature are actually wise. Those who consider all kinds of sacrifice or food or charity to be the same cannot discriminate, and they are foolish. There are missionary workers who advocate that one can do whatever he likes and attain perfection. But these foolish guides are not acting according to the direction of the scripture. They are manufacturing ways and misleading the people in general. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Shri Shri Lakshmi Narsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpataru Bhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitreka Parnaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, welcome all of you in today's Bhagavad Gita class. We are discussing from chapter 17, the divisions of faith, Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga in Sanskrit. So this chapter is describing about the divisions of faith. Srila Sridhar Swami is one of the very prominent acharyas. He's, as per Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he belongs to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, Sridhar Swami. And he wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, a very popular commentary called as Subodhini. So he, in that Mangalacharan of that commentary, he glorifies Krishna by saying, Shesha Shesha Mukha Vyakhya Chaturyam Tveka Vaktratah Dadhanam Adbhutam Vande Paramananda Madhavam. He says that I glorify the Supreme Lord Madhava, who is abode of bliss, Paramananda Madhava, who Shesha Shesha Mukha Vyakhya Chaturyam Tu Eka Vaktratah. Ananta Shesha, you know, Lord's servant Ananta Shesha. He is well known for glorifying the Supreme Lord through his thousands of mouths. In fact, unlimited mouths, 1,000 are prominent. Shesh, Ashesha Mukha. Ashesha means unlimited, you know. So Shesha, Bhagavan Ananta Shesha, he is glorifying Krishna, Supreme Lord, from so many, time immemorial, and with thousands of his mouth. And he is always glorifying Krishna, Supreme Lord, with newer and newer meanings, you know. He has never repeated a single quality till now. You know, Shastras describe. Bhagavan Ananta Shesh, he has glorified the Supreme Lord, and till now he has never repeated a quality. So how he must be glorifying? So he says, Sridhar Swami, that wisdom which could not be spoken by unlimited mouths of Ananta Shesha has been spoken by Lord Krishna by one mouth in Bhagavad Gita. You know, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord spoke such a wisdom which cannot be compared to, which even Ananta Shesha through his thousands of mouths will not be able to speak like that. The way Lord Krishna has spoken. Just a message of Bhagavad Gita, you know, which Lord has spoken like effortlessly. Sometimes if we have to give a class discourse, then if somebody asks at last moment, we say, hey, Prabhu, you are asking at this last moment. I will not get any time for preparation, right? I have to prepare the class. So, did Lord Krishna have to prepare to speak Bhagavad Gita? He didn't need any preparation, right? He just spoke spontaneously. But such great wisdom he has spoken that after 5,000 years still we are scratching our brains trying to understand something from there, which he just spoke just like that, just on the battlefield. Arjuna was needing that, and Lord Krishna just spoke. So that's the Supreme Lord. He is just ocean of knowledge. He doesn't need any kind of preparation or anything. He just can speak. Whatever he speaks is truth. Whatever comes out of his lotus mouth. So Bhagavad Gita, although it has just 700 verses, but the knowledge that is contained is very, very special. It is discussing all the tattva-traya of Upanishads. Upanishads are supposed to describe three tattvas. Tattva-traya, a triad of tattvas. What are they? Jiva, Jagat, Jagadisha. Three J's. Very simple to remember. Three J's. Jiva, Jagat, Jagadish. Jiva means living entity. Jagat means the material world. And Jagadish means the Supreme Lord. So, a living entity, material nature, Supreme Lord. Or Prabhupada says, matter, spirit, and controller of both. Prabhupada says also. So these three tattvas, they should be discussed in Upanishads always. Upanishads discuss these three subjects. And Bhagavad Gita, we see that it discusses these three in great detail. That is why Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita Upanishad, because it discusses the topics of the Upanishads. You don't find the Leelas in Bhagavad Gita. Are there Leelas? No, there is no description of Leela there. It's primarily the Tattva. Tattva meaning the philosophical principles like Jiva, Jagat, Jagdish. So in that, this particular section especially falls into the last 6 chapters, and last 6 chapters describe the aspect of Jnana in Bhagavad Gita. You know there are 3, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, so it can be distributed as 666. Shatkam meaning 6, a group of 6. So what does the first 6 chapter, what do they describe? What's the topic? Like middle 6, first 6 and last 6. They describe a certain topic. Primarily they describe a certain topic. So what do the first 6 chapters describe? Anyone? Or what do the middle 6 describe? Middle 6 describe bhakti. Yes, which is the most confidential knowledge. Good. So bhakti. What about the first 6? Karma yoga. Okay. And the last 6? Okay. Fine. So the first 6 describe nishkam karma primarily. When you say karma yoga, nishkam karma, meaning the karma which is performed without a desire for fruits. Not the sakam karma, but nishkam karma yoga. And then the last 6 chapters describe the aspect of jnana. Jnana means, you describe kshetrajna, the jiva, the living entity, the field of activity, the 3 modes of material nature, 3 kinds of faith, 3 kinds of yajna, 3 kinds of dana, 3 kinds of tapa, 3 modes of material, all this is called as jnana, jnanam. So very interestingly, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that between nishkam karma and jnana is placed bhakti. Bhakti has been placed in middle, Bhakti is placed in the middle. Sometimes Mayavadis argue, they say, see, nishkam karma is in the beginning, bhakti is second, and last one is jnanam. So what is the highest? Jnanam is the highest, they say. Like this, see, jnanam is the highest. That's why it is last. So Vishwanath Chakravarti refutes this idea. How does he refute it? He says that the bhakti is kept in the middle. Why? Because of 2 reasons, he says. Because bhakti is touching jnana and touching karma also. So, if nishkam karma is devoid of bhakti, it will fail. If jnana is devoid of bhakti, it will fail. There has to be bhakti in these 2 paths, at least little bit bhakti. If they are devoid of bhakti, they will be finished. You can't achieve perfection by those paths, So bhakti has been placed in middle so that it is touching both jnana and nishkam karma. By touching nishkam karma and jnana, Bhakti Devi is allowing those paths to give the perfection, whatever perfection is desired from there. If bhakti was in the end, then she would have been touching only one section, right? Not the first section, meaning if you put bhakti in the end, so then the middle section is touching bhakti. But actually, bhakti is placed in such a way that she is touching both jnana and karma. That the meaning figuratively is that even if somebody is doing nishkam karma yoga, they have to possess little bit of bhakti. If they don't possess, they cannot get perfection on their path. Very clear. Even on the path of jnana, if they don't have at least little bit bhakti, finished, they cannot achieve Brahman. It's not possible. So if a jnani, if he thinks that, hey, I don't care about Lord Krishna, I have my Brahman, aham brahmasmi, soham. What about Krishna? I don't care about Krishna. Will such a person be able to achieve Brahman? What do you think? He can achieve Brahman or he cannot? He cannot achieve Brahman. It is not possible. So that person, even though his path is jnana, they have to respect Krishna. They have to accept Krishna's body is transcendental. If they think Krishna's body is Maya or like that, then they are not called jnanis, they are called as Mayavadis. A Mayavadi is the one who thinks Krishna's body as Maya. And that's why he is not able to achieve Brahman. Although he thinks that I will achieve, it's not possible. Similarly, somebody is on the path of Nishkam Karma Yoga. They have to accept Lord Krishna and they have to accept that he is a transcendental personality. He is the Supreme Lord. And then they perform their Varnashrama, offer the fruits of their action. Then they can achieve the perfection of Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is the perfection of Nishkam Karma Yoga? Any of you know? What's the goal of Nishkam Karma Yoga? Yeah? No, that's goal of yoga. Yoga. Well, yes, bro. That is goal of Sakam Karma, which is the, what about the Nishkam Karma? The goal of Nishkam Karma is actually Brahman. It is also achieving Mukti. A Nishkam Karma Yoga also, he is desirous of Mukti. Mukti meaning achieving, merging in Brahman. Just as Jnani, the path knowledge, he is also aspiring for Mukti. Nishkam Karma Yogi is also aspiring for Mukti. Both of them aspire for that impersonal liberation. So they can achieve it only if it is mixed with Bhakti. Otherwise it's not possible. This is very clear. This principle is spoken in Shastra. So that is why Bhakti is in the middle, touching both the paths and giving them ability to, achieve that perfection by mixing it with Bhakti. And second, also very nice example Vishwanath Chakravarti gives is, see, if you have a casing, suppose you have a very great jewel, some money, very great jewel. So usually that jewel you will not just keep it anywhere. You will keep it in some very nice casing, right? You will preserve it. So if you are keeping a jewel in a casing, so that casing has a bottom part and it has a lead, usually the bottom part and lead, that will be more valuable or jewel will be more valuable, usually speaking. If you have some jewel, will you keep like you can say a golden ball into the casing which is made up of more costly than gold, some material? Or will it be like, usually casing is less valuable and what is inside is more valuable? How does it work usually? What is inside is more valuable, right? Outside what is there, it will not be that valuable. It will be less valuable. You have something of gold, so you may have a box which is of plastic. Or it may be there of some, whatever, cloth or something. But what is inside is more valuable. You don't see the other way around. The box is like golden box and inside there is some iron ball. You don't see like that usually. So similarly, he says that this Nishkam Yoga and Jnana, they are like the casing, top and upper part of the box. And what is inside is Bhakti. So it is more valuable than the casings. So Nishkam Karma and Jnana, they are good. They can give some perfection like Mukti. But Bhakti is the highest. It is like the jewel. Naturally, the jewel is of greater value than the casing, than the box. Similarly, Bhakti is middle like a jewel, and there is this upper lead of Nishkam Karma Yoga and then the down part of Jnana Yoga. So Bhakti is kept in middle. So it is not like Bhakti is less, it's inferior and Jnana is coming, so it's higher. No, in fact, it's like this, that Bhakti is most valuable, so it is placed in this casing, this way. So these chapters of, especially the last 6 chapters, they primarily talk about these Jnana topics, like you can see here also, 3 kinds of Shraddha, 3 kinds of sacrifices, yajna, 3 kinds of charity, dana, 3 kinds of penances, tapa, 3 kinds of food, ahar, everything that all will come. So these all aspects are the aspect of jnanam, knowledge. And they are useful in bhakti. They are useful in bhakti, but still they are being termed as jnana for what? Why they are being called as jnanam? Because in bhakti, The most important aspect when we talk about bhakti is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and knowledge about those aspects. So knowledge about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, that is considered devotional, that is considered Bhakti Maya Jnana. Things like three modes, and then material world, and 24 elements, this all falls under plain Jnana. It's not exactly considered the Bhakti Maya Jnana that way, but it is useful. It is still useful in Bhakti. It's not like it is useless. That's why it is there. But when you talk about pure Bhakti topics, it is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and all this. 9 stages of Bhakti, 9 limbs of Bhakti, Guru, and how to surrender to Guru. Those are the topics which are like primarily in Bhakti. And that is why 13 to 18 has been termed as Jnanam. Otherwise you may wonder, why this is called Jnanam? Is it not Bhakti? No, well, it is Bhakti, but within Bhakti, the primary subject is always Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and all that, this way. And these all elements of Jnana, they are useful, so they can be utilized in Bhakti, this way. Of course, here in the 18th chapter, towards the end, Sarvadharman Parityajya and all, that is direct Bhakti topics. That's like conclusion. It's coming towards the conclusion. But most of the topics in 13 to 18, they basically qualify for Jnana. So here, now the section will start speaking about three modes of, these ahara, meaning food, sacrifice, then penance, austerities, all of them in 3 modes, like that. So the whole topic here to discuss this, now further verses will talk about what is food in the mode of goodness, what is food in the mode of passion, what is food in the mode of ignorance, all that. So that will be discussed in particular verses. I will speak generally. The purpose of speaking about 3 modes of material nature by Krishna here is not to be situated in Sattva Guna. No. Why is Lord describing all these things? Is it that we should be Sattvika? No. Actually, the path of bhakti is beyond even Sattva. Is the path of bhakti Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic, or Nirguna? What is bhakti? Bhakti is in the mode of goodness? What do you think? Or bhakti is in mode of passion? Or bhakti is in mode of ignorance? Or bhakti is transcendental to the modes? Yes, bro? It's transcendental to the modes, yes. So bhakti is transcendental. So all this analysis is being done just to show that, see, these kinds of faiths, these kinds of foods, they are there. But as practitioner of bhakti, we actually want to transcend all of this. See, even in food in mode of goodness, what is that food? The food which is very wholesome, fatty, juicy, it is fresh. But unless and until it is offered to Krishna, when it's offered to Krishna and becomes prasad, then it becomes transcendental. So that's why Prabhupada would say that we are not mere vegetarians. We are Krishnatarians. He would say Krishnatarians, meaning we eat Krishna prasad. So Krishna is describing these 3 modes so that if somebody is in ignorance, they can come to passion, and from passion to goodness. But as devotees, actually, we are practitioners of Nirguna, transcendental path. So our Shraddha, meaning faith, should be transcendental. Our food is transcendental. Our Yajna is transcendental. Our Tapa is transcendental. Our Dana is transcendental. It's not Sattvic. It is not Rajasic. It's not Tamasic, any of these, this way. But the understanding should be there, so, that understanding is gained by reading these, like that. So, when it comes to food, when we offer it to Krishna, then that is transcendental, then it becomes prasadam, Of course, when we offer it to Krishna, certainly we should make sure that the ingredients by which it is made, they are in mode of goodness primarily. We can't take anything which is ignorant or something and then try to offer it to Krishna. No, we should offer the foodstuffs which are primarily in mode of goodness. But unless and until they are offered, they will not become transcendental. The modes, nirguna, as you say. Similarly, yajna, dana, tapa. Sacrifice, the sacrifice which is devoid of any desires and it is as per scriptures, that's considered in mode of goodness. But what sacrifice we do as Hare Krishna devotees? We do the sacrifice of Sankirtanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that Sankirtana Yajna, that Yajna is transcendental. Similarly, when it comes to dana, what do you give in charity? So, a charity which is devoid of any expectation in return, that is considered a satvik danam, satviki charity. Meaning there is no expectation. You are not, sometimes people want to offer charity, but they also want to make sure that everybody gets to know, right, about that charity. Like that. So, sometimes you find somebody comes and gives charity and he says, but see, you should announce my name on the day of Janmashtami. Like that, they'll say. Okay, they're giving big donation, but they want, on Janmashtami day you should announce, because just full, everybody is there. Like that. So there may be some expectation when you are offering. So that's called Rajasik. That's called charity in the mode of passion. Of course, see, you can encourage anyone, if somebody is doing even like that, at least instead of giving to some mundane cause, he is at least giving to Lord. So it's good. But we are trying to understand the gradation. What is sattvic, what is rajasic, what is tamasic. We are trying to understand the gradation so that you understand what is highest also. So when it comes to devotees, the danam, the charity is that which is given to the Vaishnavas or for the sake of service. And it is given with a pure desire to please them. We just want to please the Vaishnavas, we want to please the Supreme Lord. There is not so much a desire for gaining some kind of thing. Then mode of passion comes in immediately there, this way. So that kind of offering of dan, charity, where it's with a pure desire to please Guru and Vaishnavas and Supreme Lord, and it is for a transcendental cause, so then that would become nirguna, transcendental dana, like that. Same way with tapa. Sometimes some people take up very terrible austerity, like this Vrikasur was there. You remember Bhasmasur or Vrikasur. He was cutting open flesh from his body and putting in the fire. Om Namah Shivaya, like that, calling out Lord Shiva. Now, in which Shastra it is mentioned that you can do such a sacrifice? Of course, those guys are so powerful also, right? They're cutting up the flesh and putting in Yajna Kunda. Somebody else will die, like. But he was like that powerful. So he's performing such a sacrifice. So it's completely concocted. So that kind of sacrifice or that kind of tapa, that is considered completely tamasic. It is mode of ignorance, But then Lord Shiva is Ashutosha, he is very immediately pleased. So Lord Shiva still appeared, and said, okay, what do you want? I want a benediction. As soon as I keep my hand on somebody's head, the head should break into 100 pieces. So you can understand what kind of benedictions these guys seek. So it is a tapa, or he's performing yajna, both it qualifies for yajna as well as tapa, but it is completely in mode of ignorance, because it is basically with a desire to hurt others, like that, this way. Somebody may do the tapasya or austerity for the sake of some great name, fame. He's performing austerity, but by that he wants name, fame, power, prestige, like Hiranyakashipu, right? Wanted to just rule over the entire world and thereby enjoy the senses to unlimited extent. So that kind of tapa is known as Rajasik tapa, If it is to destroy, if the desire is to destroy others and all, that becomes mode of ignorance. If the desire is to enjoy the senses and all, then it becomes mode of passion. And the penance in mode of goodness is that which is performed just for the sake of getting rid of bodily consciousness and with as per Shastra, as per the scriptural desires. One is taking up some austerities with a desire that one becomes free from bodily consciousness. But bhakti is beyond this. In bhakti, the tapa that we have is not even sattvika, it's not mode of goodness. It is nirguna, it is transcendental. So in bhakti, we will take those austerities which are only approved by bhakti process. Like following Ekadashi, like following vratas like Janmashtami, Gaur Purnima, Radhashtami. Such vratas we take. We don't take any whimsical vratas, which are like going in Gangotri, Gomukh and, submerging ourselves in ice cold waters. Or, there is some tapa called Panchagni tapa. Panchagni means you put fire on 4 sides. With 42 degrees Celsius temperature, you put fire on 4 sides and then on top there is sun and you meditate in that. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not the body. So, do devotees do this kind of tapas? No, we don't do these kinds of tapas. Which? Prithu Maharaj, you are saying? Okay, we'll come to that. Yeah, those examples, some particular examples. See, some examples like Prithu or Dhruva Maharaj, towards the end of the life, Vishwanath Chakravarti answers, what you are saying. Towards the end of life, they performed some austerities just so as to attract the followers of that path. They wanted to set an example. See, because they also belong to an era where the process is primarily austerities, like Satya Yuga. So they just, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, why are they following this process? If Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu is the process, then why are they doing these tapasya and all? So he says that they are doing this just to set an example for that particular yuga, because that was the ideal process. And the people of that age should not say, hey, these guys seem to be like sense enjoyers. They didn't perform the tapasya like the way we do and all. So just to set some example, they do such tapasya and all. Primarily, bhakta, the process of bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam and all that. So the example of Prithu, the example of Dhruva, all of them, they fall into these categories. Where the practice that they do of jnana or of yoga, it is for a specific purpose. It is for a purpose of attracting those practitioners to bhakti. Also, it is for a purpose of setting some example for that particular age. That's the right example. Otherwise, yes, the focus in bhakti is on the aspects of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. This is the process, like this is where we very much focus on. So the tapasyas that we take, they also have to be approved by the Vaishnava society and Guru and the Acharyas, Sampradaya. So what do we do usually? If we want to take up also some austerity specifically, so then we take the blessings of Guru, We take the blessings of Guru and superiors and check with them. See, I am planning to do this. Is it okay? Is this correct? Or is this something which is like whimsical? I am trying to do on my own. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some of his disciples, he asked to set an example that how to live the life of renunciation. So they performed very severe austerities like Raghunath Das Goswami. So Lord Chaitanya wanted him to be an example to show that aspect of how a renounced class, they don't need much of the facilities and all that. So he used to take few drops of buttermilk once in 2-3 days. So imagine if we try to do that, we will die. Not that we will become weak or something, we might be just dead, like that. So what example he is setting is like very high. Lord Chaitanya wanted him that he set such an example as a renounced class. So he is able to do that with that empowerment, like that. So my point is this, that after understanding 3 kinds of tapasyas, 3 kinds of sacrifices and all, we also understand that in bhakti, what we follow is the transcendental, the nirguna of all these things. Nirguna yajna, nirguna dana, nirguna tapa, nirguna ahara, everything, which is transcendental. So that is the purpose Baldev Devotion says, for which this section is mentioned over here. We understand all these things in various modes, but we also understand that as bhakti, we follow the transcendental process. So here, that's why Prabhupada is also sort of introducing the section now. Later now, one verse will talk about food in mode of goodness, food in mode of passion, food in mode of ignorance, and everything this way. Towards the end, Prabhupada also says this, I will stop with this now, last point, that Prabhupada says that there are some missionary workers who advocate that one can do whatever he likes and attain perfection. You can do whatever you want and then you attain perfection. But these foolish guides are not acting according to the direction of scripture. They are manufacturing ways and misleading the people in general. Right? Prabhupada would say that there is one very famous saying, one of the Bengali person spoke, Yatomat Tatopat. Yatomat Tatopat means, as you think, there are ways for perfection. Whatever you do, you will achieve perfection. See, if whatever you do, Prabhupada would say, if whatever you do, you will achieve perfection, does Krishna have to even speak Bhagavad Gita? Why should he speak Bhagavad Gita, right? If whatever you do is fine, then why should he speak Bhagavad Gita? Even if he doesn't speak Bhagavad Gita, it's okay, because whatever you do is fine. So the whole purpose of speaking Bhagavad Gita becomes useless if we think that whatever we do, we achieve perfection. All paths lead to the same goal. This is a big misunderstanding in India. All paths lead to same. You worship anyone, you don't worship, you are atheist. Okay, no problem. Anything you do, you achieve perfection. Like that they think. But this is actually complete bogus idea. Prabhupada would give example that you take a train to Frankfurt, then you will reach Frankfurt. You will not reach Berlin if you take a train to Frankfurt, unless and until you are hijacked by people or something. Sometimes they hijack the planes and take to some other destination like that. But the rule is that if you take a particular path, then you achieve that destination. Yanti deva vrata devan, pitrun yanti pitravrata, bhutani yanti bhuteja, yanti madhyajunopima. Those who worship Devavrata, meaning those who worship Devas, they go to the planets of the Devas. Those who worship Pitras, forefathers, they go to the forefathers. Those who worship Bhutas, they attain their association. And those who worship me, Krishna says they will come back to me. So it's not that all paths and anything you do, it will be the same thing. No, absolutely not. So Krishna is very crystal clear. Although he has given freedom to Arjuna in terms of choosing, you can choose Nishkam Karma Yoga, no problem. You can choose Jnana Yoga, you can choose Karma Kand. And they all have their different destination. So one can choose, but don't say that all the paths lead to same goal. No, it's not like that. Every path has its own goal and you will be able to only achieve that. And within those paths also what is highest, Krishna is very clearly telling in Bhagavad Gita. He tells what is the highest, what is the lowest. That's the yoga ladder. So it's very clear with that. But sometimes people have this misunderstanding based on Gita that you do anything, you follow any path, anything is fine, everything is fine. Yato mat tato pat. So, which is not the message of Gita. So now, yes, Krishna will specifically talk about each one of these items in further verses. But I think, we can stop here for today. Okay. Granthraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, bro.
Thank you, Prabhu. When you were talking about bhakti is in the middle,
yeah.
And there is karma on one side and jnana on the other side. And I was thinking about this pastime in the Krishna book of King Riga, and how it is explained that the Lord was, or generally is pleased if someone does these pious activities, as King Riga did.
Yeah.
But these activities are also they also follow on the path of karma, isn't it? So, but then is then the step from this karma to this transcendental step, and in the case of King Riga, even that he had darshan of the Lord.
Yeah.
How does this? Is it the mercy of the Supreme Lord?
Yeah.
Is the Supreme Lord, is His mercy attracted by these pious activities which are actually on the material platform?
Yeah.
Can you maybe?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So there it's explained. The Tikas have commented over there. See, in the case of Nriga, he had served the Brahmanas. He had served the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. That was the service rendered by him. So of course, in that service, the mistake happened. Which was beyond his control. But because he rendered the service by which he had pleased Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, so by that he had a fortune by which he could get darshan of the Supreme Lord. But because there was also this mistake because of which those Brahmanas got very displeased, so he had a karma because of which he had to become lizard. So those both aspects combined, and then that's how in the second life he was born as a King Nriga. So usually anybody gets the darshan of the Lord, no Prabhu. It's very clear that kind of fortune will never come by only pious activity. It is impossible. Vishwanath Chakravarti is quite clear on this point. If somebody is getting the darshan of the Lord, or somebody is getting bhakti, you see that there is a great amount of bhakti that has come right from beginning. So it can be understood that the person has served and pleased Vaishnavas. Bhakti only generates bhakti. If the path that he has followed is not bhakti, it will not generate the nirguna bhakti. At most, it can generate bhakti in which there is a desire for liberation. Like what happens if somebody does nishkam karma yoga? Just nishkam karma yoga without so much of getting into bhakti. So then such people in their next life, they may turn into devotees who are desiring to perform bhakti for liberation. It's possible. They can come to such bhakti. That bhakti is called as satviki bhakti. It's not nirguna. Because nirguna bhakti means the only goal is prema, love of Godhead in that. So the nishkam karma yoga, pious activities in which they connect to some of these charities in Shastra and all, that can at most generate Satviki Bhakti. It will never be able to generate Uttama Bhakti. So if you see somebody coming to Uttama Bhakti, meaning the Bhakti that we follow, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma, this standard of Bhakti, so you can be very certain that that person in his prior life, he was in touch with some devotees. He came in touch with some Madhyamadhikari or somebody, and he gave him some books, bhakti, whatever. That's how the person has come to the path of pure devotional service. So this is the Siddhanta.
So there must be some Agyata Sukriti.
Absolutely, yeah. There has to be. Otherwise, it's not possible to get darshan of Krishna or like that. So all these demons also in Krishna Leela, that's how it is. Usually they have some kind of interaction with devotees, and that's how they become qualified to get darshan, in the next life. But then they might have also done some aparadh, so they get some punishment also. And those both factors combined, like Nalakuvar, Manigriv and such people, to get that option. So
thank you.
Haribol. Yes, bro. Subal Gopal, bro.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the inspiring lecture. I would like to ask, you talked about that bhakti is transcendental.
Yeah.
And for example, when I see my own spiritual life, how can I also differentiate which guna I'm now acting in, even though it's devotional service, but still somehow I'm influenced by the material modes of nature. So when do I know which guna I'm in, or when do I know maybe I'm approaching the spiritual?
Yes, this is a good question. So bro, this is very clear. See, there is something called as the path. The path is transcendental, but the practitioner may not be transcendental. See, the path of bhakti is transcendental, the path which we follow. But the practitioner, the sadhaka, is transcendental, is said to be transcendental only at the level of bhava. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti from Madhurya Kadambini. When do you say somebody is transcendental to the modes? He is said to be transcendental to the modes when one reaches bhava stage. Before bhava, we don't say that the person has become transcendental. No, because the modes still affect, the person. The modes especially affect till anartha nivrutti, and then at the level of nishtha, the modes continue to affect, but once bhajan just goes ahead, one is not so much bothered by it. It's like, even though you are being hit by the arrows, you don't bother, you just go ahead. That is called nishtha, ruchi, and at those stages. And at the stage of bhava, you don't even get hit by arrows. It's just disappeared. It's not there only. One will not get the feelings of lust, anger, greed, and all that. Finished, it's done. One has become transcendental completely now to that. So, till the time we achieve that stage, Prabhu, we are known as sadhakas only. And we can see how is my nature. So, we may follow a path which is transcendental, but we may not be ourselves transcendental. We are not yet transcendent. So, then we can try to improve. If we have very tamasic tendencies, then we can rise at least to the mode of passion. Like suppose we are chanting and we feel very sleepy. So that's mode of ignorance. So at least we get up and walk. So that is now passion. We are walking, but still it's useful. I mean, certainly better than sleeping. That way, right? So we walk and chant. So that's better than sleeping. That way. So like this in every walk of life we can see, if we have very tamasic tendencies, we are not very enthusiastic for service, or we just feel like sleeping all day. So then we should engage ourselves by taking right association, push ourselves by taking some targets, some challenging service. Then if you take a challenging service, then you can't just be lazy, you have to run. You have to do, certainly go around like that. So that way you push your lower nature and come. And then slowly by practice of bhakti, as we will become in sattva guna, then naturally we will become very active. Sattva guna is also very active, it's not dull. Sattva guna is very active, person is very enlightened, and one works with a great clarity like that. So that will happen. So like this we can use rising in the mode slowly. And then at one point of time, especially as I said, the stage at which one becomes completely Vishuddha Sattva, transcendental to the modes, is Bhava. That time we are completely beyond all the modes this way. So it's a struggle, that's why. Till that time we continue to place ourselves in bhakti activities and try to be as much as possible in goodness, which is very helpful or which is very near to mode of pure goodness, like that. But the activities of bhakti, the services, they are transcendental. The path is transcendental, certainly, like that. So that's why you are still following a transcendental path. Although as a sadhaka practitioner, you may not be transcendental. So that clarity should be there. Understand, bro? Makes sense? Haribol. Okay. Yes, Madhaji. You tell Prabhu when we should stop.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for the lecture. Please accept my humble obeisances. You said that when we offer the food to Krishna is transcendental. And what is the value if we offer industrial produced food? Because if I buy cheese or crackers and I cannot make myself butter or milk or yogurt, also how is the value of this offered food?
Yeah, so this is like Prabhupada said, no, best use of bad bargain. Best use of bad bargain. Ideally, it should have been in a way that we know where does it come from. Is it grown by devotees? Is it prepared by devotees? First class food, Prabhupada said, is grown by devotees, prepared by devotees, offered by devotees, and served by devotees. That's the first class. So now we can try to go as much close to that. At least if it is not, it's some industrial thing, and we have to use it, fine. So at least the cooking is done by devotees, the offering and serving and everything that's offered with love, like that. So that's something which is practical. What to do? You will not be able to grow everything from root and from scratch this way. So Prabhupada himself approved that kind of use, but the point is, we can try to be sure at least that what the product is coming from at least some pure source. It's not like they are mixing some animal fat or something, and then it's not offerable to Krishna. So that's how it is. I would say it's a practical aspect. Best use of bad bargain.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's why Prabhupada also spoke about growing our own food if we can. Like here also, we are trying few things. So if we can grow our own food, offer it, that's best offering actually. Like that. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. You said that we would struggle naturally until we reach the stage of bhava, etc. Is there anything we can do to struggle less and maybe go faster? Be a more narrow road there?
Absolutely, bro. So here comes then here comes the expert guidance, where if we can understand and recognize our nature and the natural psychophysical nature which we can engage in Krishna's service, so then that struggle is minimal in that case. And that is where Varnashrama comes in picture. Those days in Vedic times, based on Varna and Ashrama, everybody would know their nature so perfectly well that it was very easy to engage in the, based on Varnashrama, then engage in these paths of self-realization. But what happens in Kali Yuga is it's like all mixed up. Somebody who is supposed to be a brahmachari ends up in grahasthashram. Somebody who is supposed to be grahastha, he ends up in brahmachari ashram. And then somebody who is supposed to be a teacher ends up in being a software engineer, slogging day night. So it's all like Varna and Ashram, it's all just become very complicated. So what do we do? Prabhupada again, said that. So that's why whatever is possible in our position, whenever we realize, whenever we wake up to the reality, so we can try to engage, understand, recognize our natures and engage in bhakti as per that. So especially within that, the ashram aspect is very important, which ashram we suit, and we should place ourselves in the right ashram. Because that itself sometimes can be a big struggle then. And then second, the kind of work that we do, the kind of services that we do, if they allow us to naturally absorb, in those services, then one will be able to make also swift advancement. So this is where the guidance aspect will come. If you are taking guidance of superiors, if they can see also, it's very good. You have a Brahminical tendency, so within Krishna consciousness, you should take up the Brahminical services. Somebody may be very good at administration, so within Krishna consciousness, such a person is given administrative service. Very naturally, they will flourish like that. So in this way, it's a combination of expert guidance where person is engaged as per his varna and ashrama, but in transcendental activities. It's very important. Otherwise, varnashram, just varnashrama, that will not help. You also have to follow varnashram within the devotional service. That's why we say daiva varnashrama, right? Transcendental varnashrama, that way. So it can be useful. The association of devotees matters, Prabhu. That is like one of the very important thing. So if we can be in the strong right association, then in bhakti, Rupa Goswami says that it's a great benediction. Then one is able to overcome the weaknesses very quickly. Satam prasangat mama virya samviddo. Satam prasanga, the association of devotees, that's the first thing in bhakti to grow very nicely like that. So these are few things to help. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. We extended.
Thank you for a lecture, Prabhu. My question is regarding this point with Prithu Maharaj.
Yeah.
You mentioned that this was from a different yuga.
Yeah.
So my question is, if there are so many stories in the Bhagavatam from different yugas, so what do we learn then actually from that story? Should we take it in the context? Do we learn about Vedic culture, or is there a different level of understanding how we can see the story and not taking it one to one.
Absolutely. See, the stories in the Bhagavatam, they are giving us the lessons of bhakti only, that is for sure. Pure devotional service, certainly. Like examples like Dhruva, examples like Prithu, or Bharat Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. But especially if you see, like Prahlad, complete focus on Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. He is the emblem of Smaranam, the remembrance, like that. Some particular examples like Prahlad, Prithu, Bharat also, he performed a lot of sacrifices. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says there that see this process of performing sacrifices, karmakandi sacrifices, it may appear like, what is he doing? Is he doing some karmakandi sacrifices? No. When he was offering those sacrifices, he was always thinking about how these demigods and everyone, they are like limbs of Krishna. They are like, Indra is considered hand of Krishna, and all other demigods. Surya is considered eyes of Krishna. And he literally thought that he was offering those karmakandi sacrifices for the sake of, to the limbs of Krishna. That was his consciousness with which he offered. So although they were karmakandi sacrifices for the sake of subjects and all, but the complete devotional outlook was there. So what do our commentators do, Prabhu, typically? Wherever the activities of these personalities may not appear to be like exclusive Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, then they will clarify why this kind of thing is being shown over here. Like Dhruva Maharaj, when he was leaving, towards leaving, he practices some yoga and he practices some austerity also. So very clearly there, Jiva Goswami raises the question, well, Dhruva Maharaj is about to pass, meaning leave his body. Why is he practicing yoga? Why should he practice yoga? He should just practice chanting holy names, dancing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So then he says, see, this is why he is practicing. And then those contextual reasons are mentioned over there, But the example that Prahlad Maharaj is showing, it's of pure devotional service. Those practice of yoga or tapasya, that little bit they do, those are just some auxiliary things, The focus for which they stand is the bhakti element only, this way. So that focus, sometimes if we can read through commentaries, read through purports, if we are not getting that, so it needs some little bit more. Especially if you have some question on like that, you can try to see. There will be insight offered over there very clearly. Otherwise, examples of Bhagavatam means, they are the examples of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Primarily, that's it, Because that's what pure devotional service means. It doesn't mean mixing up Ashtanga Yoga and mixing up Karmakand and mixing up some tapasya. No, that's not bhakti process. So if they're doing it, either they are doing it for these contextual reasons, some of the reasons. And the acharyas will very clearly tell that this is for this purpose that they are doing it. So it's like that. So if you have some even more clarification, you can ask me. I can tell you the exact references where it is mentioned, why they do these things this way. Haribol. Okay, so we stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.